Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your boy DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats or Instagram as well at Sounds for Producers. Fanatic is spelled Phanatic. Today's video, actually, I thought it was going to be like super short, but I figured I'll do like a two-part for this video, just to kind of give you I ran into like a little roadblock and I couldn't remember something, and this would be a great reminder for those that may have forgotten as well, or for producers that may never knew this. And I did a little research to find out if it's the same for other DAWs as well. So what I'm talking about is actually the sense, where you can pitch things up and pitch things down based on the equivalent of what sense, as far as half steps, sense, sense and semitones. Basically, I'll show you in the piano roll, so that way you're familiar with what I'm talking about. So anyway, let's get into the video, man. Notice this track 1 is muted, and I wanted to keep it there so I can show you in this video, and it won't be long. I said the video would be longer than I expected, but no, this will be a real quick one, and this is a dope reminder, like I said earlier. So anyway, oh, and by the way, happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. I'm not sure when you see the video, but and also we got other producers from other countries, so you may not celebrate that, but for those in the US, happy Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy yourself. So yeah, and have a blessed one. So anyway, so track 1, I used Serato sample, and I had a little synth pad loop that I was inspired to start creating with. And notice here in the key, it's actually pitched down 3 half steps, and I'll show you what that means in a piano roll if you're not familiar with it. It's also known as semitones. So let's go back to the original. The loop was actually C minor, and let me just play it now so you hear what it sounds like. Real dope. I like it a lot. And after that, what I did, just pitched it down to a minor. And it's real cool in Serato sample. You can just quickly pitch things, but you don't really need this plugin to do that. You can do that in FL Studio easily. Let me pull it back. I wish it was the easy way, but you're gonna hear like some scratching and whatnot. Okay, and this is what I pitched it down to. And it just gives it a whole different feel. Sometimes, when you're, producing with loops, and, whether it's melodies or pads or whatever, mess around with the pitching, whether you're fine tuning or whatever, and you can come up with different feelings, like a whole different vibe based on that one little instrument, that one little, melody or pad melody or whatever. Explore with that, because you can totally change the feeling of it, and it'll inspire you in a different way to create something totally different. So as soon as I heard that, I was thinking like trap soul beat, Bryson Tiller. I don't know, her sound would sound dope on this beat, Khalid maybe. So anyway, let me show you how to pitch down without Serato sample. What I did, this first track was Serato sample of that sample, but I was like, yo, let me throw in the audio. So I just drag the loop in the audio, and what you can do is obviously I stretched it. You click this little button to stretch the loop based on whatever you want, and then you go on to the actual sound and the fruity wrapper and change this mode to stretch, so that way it remains the same pitch, if you didn't know that part. But what I'm getting at is here, the pitch. See, what I did is lowered it down to A minor just with this little pitch knob. So notice as I move it, it actually snaps to certain increments now. It didn't. You can fine tune it too, I think, if you hold shift down, I believe. I don't want to totally mess this up, but anyway, as you move it, it changes to different cents. And what are cents? I totally forgot what the equivalent of what cents are to each half step or semitone, if you want. So notice I had it set, my bad, set at 300. Look in the upper left here in the hint panel, and as I move it, it shows cents. So when I had it on 300, which is the equivalent to A minor, the initial key was C minor, just like in Serato sample you saw. Moving it down 300 cents equals 3 semitones. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's just go to a random pattern, and here's the piano roll. So notice this is, I think this is a snare. This is the piano roll, basically the equivalent of a keyboard or a piano. If you look at your keyboard or piano in the studio or whatever is in front of you, or you can just look at this on the screen, this note right here, C, let's actually get, let's see if I can find, yeah. Okay, cool. So this note right here, see, that's the key of that loop initially, and I lowered it 300 cents. So from here, C to B is 100 cents. B to B flat is 200 cents. B flat to A is 300 cents. So every time you move down one key is 100 cents. And I heard, hopefully I'm not wrong on this, but I heard that cents is actually universal for pretty much every DAW. So every time you move 100 cents, you're just moving from one note to the other. And also another quick way to think about is 200 cents is just well, I don't want to confuse you, but 200 cents would be moving 2 semitones. So you can remember it that way, or just 100 cents is just one note. I like it 100 cents because it's easier to remember. So I totally forgot what the equivalent was because I was in the mode of creating, and I was kind of upset because I was like, yo, it's only what is cents? Because the matching this loop to the key that I wanted without using Serato sample, because what I was intending to do is actually chop this up and make a whole different little vibe, but I like how it sounded to just by itself. And once I put this in here, it was still the the initial key. So that's a quick way to change the pitch. Remember stretch mode if you decide to make it longer or shorter. That is automated based on whatever you stretched it to. So, and also you can copy and paste or whatever the value is of this. So there you go. This little pitch thing can pitch it to whatever key you want. So the part 2 of this video, I was just gonna give you a little beat breakdown while I'm here. I'll let you hear it. No, let me just break it down, and as I'm breaking it down, you can kind of hear what I did. First I started out the loop, obviously, and just pitched it down. I didn't do too much crazy effects on it, just a little bit of reverb and some stereo separation. I chose stereo separation just to make it wider, and I probably cut the lows. Yeah, I cut some of the lows, not as much as I usually do because I like some of the low frequencies in there. So this is what the loops sound like with the effects. Real nice and wide and full, and you notice there's some panning inside it, so you can hear it going left to right, and it's really emphasized with that stereo separation. So you got to pay attention to little things like that, because it can make the beat that much better when you're focused on exactly what that sound is doing. Then I kind of wanted to build some stability. Usually I don't do this, but I just slapped on a I don't slap on anything. I carefully selected a snare. Sometimes I'm a little overkill with it, but I wanted something perfect to sound with this beat. You know, every sound you choose is very vital to the feeling of it. And I mean, you got to have a balance though. You can't spend an hour picking a snare or a kick. I know how we are. You know, you gotta have a balance. So I chose this kick next. Snare, I mean. And what did I do with it? Probably, yeah, just EQ'd. Did some, you know, found some specific frequencies I wanted to boost and cut some of the lows. It was a nice layered snare and it had a lot going on. And did I do some reverb? No. So next I added a kick, and this kick pattern actually is two different parts. You'll hear like a small difference, and it's very open, but it's I was about to say groovy. It is groovy because it has a different pattern, not a typical pattern to it. So check it out. So there you go. And notice there's like slight distortion on the kick. That actually came in after I turned off the mastering effects. So because there's a lot of processing running the video, so and playing all those mastering effects, so I just cut them off. So that's why you hear a little bit of distortion on it. Next was another loop. I think it's like a percussion loop I put underneath it. My bad. It's actually just a hi-hat loop. And I stretched that as well. And what did I do? Did I do anything crazy with it? Just panned it to the right and did some EQing to cut some of the lows. And it had a nice pattern to it. When you're choosing different hi-hat pattern loops, you know, some are just, you gotta kind of feel it and see if it's what you want inside this type of beat. And I thought it was kind of cool, so check it out. So you get the idea. And next I added this really cool like vocal effect, but I also use halftime to make the first part low and the second part high. So check it out. So that's dope. I really like how that came out, just to give it that ambiance and that extra lively feel to it. And of course, you know, it gives it that trap soul feel, and just, I don't know, it adds a lot to it. So I also added a counterpart vocal effect. So check it out. Now we cooking with grease, man. You feeling that right now. So what I did with the vocal effects, there's a lot I did, not a lot, but chorus reverb, just give it some space, some delay 3, and halftime for that sound, and then just reverb for that higher end second vocal effect. Next I added I think this was like that pluck sound. I don't think you heard it yet, so check it out. So there you go, just in the background, you know, something a little cool. I think that was like a guitar sound that I chose. Yeah, it was in Trophies. and I found a random sound. I don't know what it was actually. It was in plucked instruments, and it's actual pluck. So if you're curious and you have trophies, that's what I chose. And I think yeah, I added reverb and delay on it just to give it a little more, and it almost sounds like a guitar, so I like that sound, and it kind of complemented the beat. And speaking of guitar, next was a guitar, and I like the chords that I chose to do with this, so check it out. Wow, let's solo that and play it by itself. Check it out. Dope. I can actually export that and make a nice loop out of that. That's dope. Of course, you know, these are the chords that I chose. The second part of it, I just duplicated the chords and did a higher octave just to, you know, increase the energy there. And notice the notes are strummed and a lot of different velocity variations here. Sometimes you need these elements to kind of just take a beat over top. Also, what else did I do? I'm gonna wrap this video up so I don't bore y'all. All right, so next I added, I think it was just I think it's like a shaker maybe, so check it out. It's a straightforward hi-hat just to kind of give it some more structure. And then this is a cymbal, I believe. Right, threw that cymbal in there, and the cymbal I usually throw a reverb to kind of make it a little bigger. No stereo separation on that one, and of course cut the lows for the cymbal because sometimes there's like low frequency artifacts. And of course the 808. Actually, I used the sub for this one, and the movement of this 808, I'll let you hear what I did. So yeah, there you go. That is the what do you call it? Pretty much the whole beat. With that 808, I did a notice it copies. All I did is copy the kick. That's a quick way, the pattern of the kick, and paste it right in the what do you call it? Right in the 808 sub for this beat. And I just did a couple different things. You make the notes longer, obviously, so they sustain longer, and I did some octave movements and just kind of freaked it a little bit, and you know, changed a few velocity things just so it kind of rides with the beat, and did a little change up on this second pattern here. So I'm gonna play the beat into the verse and, you know, let you vibe out to the chorus, and that way you get to feel what was done. So that's pretty much the whole beat, and also the way to pitch different loops from cents to semitones or half steps, whatever word you choose to use. And hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something. So, and hopefully it inspires you as well. So check it out. Here it is from the chorus to the verse. All right, once again, if you like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats. Fanatic is PHANATIC. As well as Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. So hopefully, you know, this inspires you to cook up something dope right now, whether it's R&B beat or trap soul beat or whatever that this video inspired you. Also, hopefully that pitching technique that I showed you, the sense, hopefully that definitely taught you something. I forgot about it, and I was kind of upset that it took me that long to figure it out, because I thought it was another increment, and I was just in the mode to create immediately. So now you don't have to, you know, go through what I went through. So anyway, I'll catch you out next video. Again, DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. Peace and blessings.